it was hard. Sometimes I would tell Mark, look, the time where I want to give up, and Mark will be like, he made a statement one time that still resonates where he said to me, look, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for you and your family down the line when you're buying them or paying their fees. One who's going to reap the benefits.
Career, change your career, and yeah.
All right, everyone. Good evening. Good evening once again. Welcome to our taster session. Today, the 29th of November. My name is Bolu. Any communication you've seen about this program, that's been me. It's really great to have us here. I'm still expecting more and more people to join in, and they would. It's a Saturday, of course. But then what I would like you to do while in attendance is, your pen and paper, have notes. This is usually a very robust session, a lot of information that will help you transition to where you believe you should be is going to be shared in today's live event. Hi, Fawaz. Hi, welcome. So without much ado, um, sit back, relax. Everything is going to be value throughout this session. Your facilitators are in the room. You'll be hearing real life, real scenarios, things, experiences of people currently in the UK and how they have been transformed, going through our program and how you can also experience that for yourself. Um, it's great having you in today's event. I'm going to yield the floor. I'm going to yield the floor in a minute to the next facilitator. Um, and all of us already in the room already be rest assured you are, as we've promised, you are having access for the first 50, access to Primavera P6 guide, and I will be in your DMs reaching out to you with that resource material. Thank you so much. I yield the
Thank you
floor.
very much, Bull. Yep, let me bring up the slide. Welcome everybody. Welcome to our 45th Masterclass. So the next person is me. My name is Mark. I'm a senior planner slash scheduler with over 10 years experience. And I'll be training you on three softwares, Microsoft Project, P6 Primavera, and then the risk analyzer to validate the confidence in the schedule and also to put in any risk provisions in there. So with my training, you're going to be a ninja in those three software. So in the when you get into the job, there's always the planning process. You're going to be helping organizations to define the scope, frame the timeline of the project, allocate resources, regularly monitor the progress, list out essential tasks, and give employers a clear picture of the dependencies and help them to create an outcome. That's part of your job, and I'll train you on how to do that. As a planner, your responsibilities on why they are paying you the mega box is to help them to develop a detailed schedule, work with project directors, ensure that you collaborate different teams to flesh out the schedule. And I'll teach you on how to do that as well. Your first step as a planner is you need to understand the business case. Why are we doing this project in the first place? Clarify the scope from the engineers and the technical people. Understand the risk and the assumptions. Understand the program of work. What method are we going to use to deliver this project? Is it waterfall? Is it agile or is it hybrid? Um, you are going to create the network diagrams to show the organization, such as the product breakdown structure. You're going to create the schedules, and then you're going to get the stakeholders to sign it off. That means that we are going to baseline it, and on a monthly or weekly basis, you are going to be tracking and monitoring the progress of the plan from the stakeholders, and then you're going to be producing different types of reports to show to the different stakeholders. So you're going to be learning P6 Primavera to advanced level, how to end value management, global change, S-curve, and the whole. So this is an example of MS project. So this is MS project is another software you're going to learn. You're going to be using and learning how to use macros, learning how to do filters, and doing all kinds of reports as well on MS projects. And finally, we need to have confidence in the schedule. We need to know whether we can deliver on time or we are going to need to put in risk provisions in the schedule for uncertainty. So you're going to go through that as well. And your output after our trainings are going to be well booked with information and lots of assignments. You're going to be doing lots of live assignments, and then you are going to be well ready for the outside world and to get a job. Any questions? Okay. Is Nikki available, or do I need to go to the next person?
I think we
Let
can
me
come
move
back to
on.
Nick. I don't think she's.
We'll come back to Nikki. Okay. Let's go on to Tom. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Yep.
Good afternoon. My name is Olatunji Odurai. I work as a PMO, Project Management Office Analyst. And if you decide to join us, I'll be your trainer. Myself and Nike will be taking you through project management. Could you please move to the next level? Next slide, please.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So, as a PMO analyst, we part of the things that we'll be covering is having a understanding of what project management office is and how do we support the project environment. So, this office is responsible for a whole lot of things like ensuring there's standardization, um, um, project governance. We're supporting with policy, training, processes, and resources. So that's what we do. So we facilitate resources, methodology, tools, and then we share techniques as well. Next slide, please. So part of the we also cover PMO functions or services. So what do we do? In terms of governance, we'll be looking into what governance means and what are the things that we do within governance. We look at reporting. There are different types of reports that we produce that we support the project manager or delivery lead or whoever you're working with. We support them with and the project, the entire projects with different reports. So we are responsible for reports like rates. You get to know what the meaning of rates, status reports at times, lesson learned, and there are other reports as well. Finance management sits within project management office. You'll be learning a lot about the project spend, the differences and the meaning of AVF, which is actual versus forecast. Then you'll be learning a lot about forecasting and budgeting and things like that. Planning has been covered by a Mark, but also as a PMO analyst, this is part of the things that we do. There are times whereby we do not have if on the project and you do not have project planner on your project. Fortunately, or could I say unfortunately, so that aspect lies within PMO and the project manager. And you as a PMO, you'll be responsible for creating project plan, tracking the project plan, producing report, and looking after the project plan. Change management is also part of what we'll be looking at. So we also look at stakeholders management. Who are stakeholders? How do you identify your stakeholders? The means of communication. How do you manage the stakeholders' expectation? There are other bits and bobs that we do as well as PMO. Within the project management office, we support with resource management, we support with onboarding and offboarding of resources. We do benefit tracking. We support with some administrative tasks like setting up. Everyone does that. So, but at times it depends on the account or the project that you're working on, and part of the like as I mentioned, training earlier. So we support with coaching and mentoring, and also setting up repository that's like a project space um, online. Next, please. Right. PMO responsibilities. So methodology development, project review, and auditing. We'll be looking at all these. Direct support for project managers. How do we support project managers? In what way? And what are the things that we do? Um, project trouble shooting, and professional development. Next, please. So how do we impact the project environment? So this office was created for a lot of purposes. Part of it is better project outcomes. With our office, with everything we're doing with the PMO services or function, this helps to increase project success rates and help project services and individuals from project failures. Our work improves project outcomes for more projects delivered on time and to budget. And we also capture the benefits generated from project. Like I mentioned earlier, benefit tracking. That's one of the things that we do. Also, we improve organizational efficiency. This is increasing collaboration within the organization and reducing siloed working. This also helps to support organizational transformation and also to generate savings through improving project outcomes and operate savings program. The last one on the screen is maintain robust governance. This supports effective governance across organization. We provide confidence to senior stakeholders or senior management that projects are being properly looked after. And through the reports that we give to them, it's more or less like we're giving them visibility that helps them to make informed decisions on, and also to understand how the project is faring. Next, please. Next slide. Benefits of the PMO office. With everything we do, this helps with higher project success rate, improved operational efficiency, cost reduction, better decision making, and greater visibility and control. Next, please. So, as a PMO analyst, what are the things that we do in terms of responsibility? We provide project management support. We support with governance, which is ensuring standardization within projects. So everyone is doing all projects that are expected to do almost the same thing. Creation of project management templates. There are different templates that will be showing it to you on what they are in terms of reports and how they are being used. Management of financial forecasting. I actually mentioned it earlier in terms of financial management. What does forecast mean? What is the meaning of actual? And then what are the key things that we need to look out for? We'll be going through that. We also support with gathering of data and tracking performance of multiple projects. So we've got part of the PMO class. There's something that we're doing. It's around data gathering and then tracking performance of multiple projects. You get to understand what are the key things that we are looking out for in the management of project resources. When we say resources, we are the resources you and I that are working on the project, and the management of rates. Rates actually it simply means risk assumptions, issues, and dependency. Lastly is benefit tracking. Next, please. So that's what we'll be covering. If you do decide to join us and you're interested in PMO analyst role, it's a very interesting role. You get to learn a lot. You can start with the PMO analyst role, and then later, if you want to move into working as a project manager, project planner, any other, but this particular role is central. It gives you lots of knowledge about project management. So it's something that you can start with. Any question, please? Question from anyone? Okay, no question. I'll move on to the next speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Nikki, are you in it now?
Can you hear me? I'm in.
You're in. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me move to the top.
Apologize, I'm not too sure what's happened. Apologies for this.
No worries.
Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Nikki Adewusi, a project manager. Having transitioned from the tax space a couple of years ago, I've been working on projects, leading on projects. I'll be looking to work alongside my other colleagues, I think Tone, to provide you with knowledge that you require in the project management space when you sign up with us and when you are successful with your job applications. Next slide, please. Okay, so mine is more of I'm just giving you an overview of what you need to think about within project management. So at the moment, project management is highly demanded around the world. And the good thing about project management is that we're able to transfer the skills. So whatever you learn with MI Consulting today can be used anywhere in the world. You might be living in Nigeria at the moment, looking to relocate to Australia, to Geneva. Once you've got the basic knowledge within our consulting outfit, you're able to transfer those skills. By 2030, we'll be looking to hire probably close to another 30, 40 million people in the space because projects are being approved every time, every year. We're moving towards the end of the year, for example, in quite so many countries right now. And because of that, we have budgets in place where we're looking to recruit more people, but we need the right skill set for people to take on these roles. Next slide, please. So in terms of the project, you're looking at a temporary organization, and it's created to deliver business products according to an agreed business case, but more importantly, making sure that value is taken into consideration throughout the life cycle of any project. And then when we look at the program, we're looking at more than one project being managed or being looked after by an individual or a group of people. And we're trying to look at things from a slightly higher level than the program level. And then when we move on to the portfolio, we're looking at the totality of the business, the investment with the business, and what are the changes that they require to achieve their strategic objectives. So we start with a project, and then a program that has two or three more projects, and the portfolio now is a big umbrella that manages everything that is going on within any organization or business. And more importantly, around project management, we should always think about the time scales, think about our budgets, and similar to what my colleague Tone just said, what are the risk factors? What are the benefits? And these are the things that our brains need to be thinking about whilst we're working, and will definitely put you through whilst we're teaching you on the courses in the coming weeks. Next slide. What is digital transformation? So it's a very big word, but at the same time, quite simple to understand. And we're in a situation where if we simply cast our mind back to pre-COVID, post-COVID, we look at that there's now a massive change and there's a lot of automation going on in the way we do all our things, and that is simply transformation. However, who needs to get this done? It's you and I. We need to have a working process, and we need tools to get the work done. And so these are things that would also help you with whilst on the course with us. We've got quite a number of tools that will teach you how to use them. We'll walk you through the processes. And because you are the people, getting into the digital transformation mindset will be an easy task for you to perform over in the coming months with a view to ensuring that customer value delivery is successful. Next slide. Okay, so in terms of project management, what we're trying to look at as well, because it's quite easy for us to do a lot of talking, but in terms of the facts and figures, for example, if you look at a company like Walmart, that's Asda in the UK, most customers these days would order their goods using voice ordering. You don't really need to see people come into the stores to place orders anymore. We can sit down in our various homes on our phones, even whilst driving to place our orders to our houses, and we will get our delivery. With the healthcare system as well, a lot of things are happening on a real-time basis, health monitoring, virtual health visits. You do not have to physically attend a GP surgery now to get seen. You don't have to physically get to the hospital to use this fig or the thermometers. We can sit down in our house to manage our blood pressures. It's because of the work that you and I are doing behind the scenes for them to be able to attain that level within the health sector. Next slide. And then a case study is Netflix. So if we think about 1997, and maybe people who are my age, back in the days, we used to go to the video clubs to rent DVDs and CD players before we could watch a movie at home. But now we don't have to do that. So I could decide to travel to South Africa today because I already have a Netflix account. I can watch my movies anywhere in the world. If you think about it, again, it's people like you and I that are doing all the background work for us to be able to see Netflix in the big way it is today. But more importantly, the reason why Netflix is still there in business is because they've been able to work alongside the change and then making sure that they are able to send their products quickly based on customers' demand. And again, these are things, real life experiences, scenarios currently facing at work that we'll be sharing with you and how to navigate your thoughts around customer requests when they come into any business that you'll be looking to get a job shortly. Next slide. And what's the importance? I think I've said it all. So it's more around the business operations realignment. More importantly, the change management, the perception that things would never remain the same, and the ability to run with the change, deliver the change, work with flexible technology, and adopt new practices for agility, and making sure that whilst we're even trying to get the final product to add value to our customers, we continue to experiment, continue to get feedback. Next slide. Yeah, I think we can skip this slide because I've spoken about this as well. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of roles, so again, I've said a lot, but because project management is a really big space, there's so much going in there. There's so many roles. So one could start as a project support, and that's probably maybe one of the lowest grades, if again, depending on maybe your confidence levels or how you feel with your knowledge. But if you're able to get in with the project support role, then you can easily climb the ladder. You can go into the project administrator, the project coordinator, get a project manager, there's project officer, project executive, there's PMO office, there's a lot going on within project management. And to just capital, there is space for every one of us to get a project management job if that is where we are looking to tend to specialize in. Next slide. So I think the crux of the matter this evening is that sometimes some of us might have said, oh, I've gone into a training before, MI consulting are saying the same old. So sometimes it's always good for us to look inwards and see, is there anything I haven't done right? I haven't done correctly? Is there anything I need to change so that I can get that success I want. And I think for us that I started on the call early, we heard one of our students' testimonials as to the hard work that she put in. What we would expect is that people have to work hard, lack of determination, procrastination, inconsistent learning patterns. It's just an easy ride into failure. What we are here for is to help you boost your morale, boost your experience level, the confidence, and bridge the knowledge gap. But you would have to work with us to get to that. We're going to be available as often as you want us to jump on the calls with you. We'll be training you. There'll be lots of homework to do. We would really, really want you to work with us on that same pace, or probably even higher and faster than us, so that you can get value for the time that you're going to spend in coming weeks. Next slide. Okay, so in terms of our success rate, so for every 10 students that enrolls with us, at least 7 or 8 students get a role within the between the 8 to 12 week period. And like you heard in the last testimonial, someone actually got her job within 2 weeks. But for us to get to that rate, they actually have to put the work. Whilst with us, the project planning side of things would make sure that in the period whilst you're here, that you get to the expert level on MS projects, expert level on Primavera, and you become a great project planner and scheduler, and you'll feel confident enough to apply to jobs. Then on the business analysis side of things as well, you'd have experts of understanding of what business analysis entails. You'll be able to use the tools because you're going to have access to environments where you can use the tools. And then again, you can feel comfortable enough to go and apply for the jobs. The same thing applies to the Scrum Master training and the PMO offices. We'll give you in-depth training. We will expect you to do all your homework and assignments. We would work with you on your CVs. Obviously, you have to put together a first draft. We'll give you a certificate of training subject to attendance. We'll provide on-the-job support for 3 months. And we also have a designated WhatsApp group where we share information around job offerings around. Would help you with, we have CV workshop as well, just to guide you as to how to pull together a good CV that would attract potential recruiters or employers. Next slide. Okay, so what are the threats? Again, I think I've mentioned all that. So again, you have to attend class. You have to be focused. We've got an alumni group where you got access to lots of resources, even when you finished your training with ourselves. You've got free softwares for your use, and then just take the bull by the horn and just work hard, and you'll succeed. Next slide. Yeah, so the harvest is plenty. We need more competent laborers. We need you. We're here to support you. I would look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nika. I'm going to move quickly to the next speaker. Yep, Richard, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. Yes, once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Ifeanyi Richard Anukem. That's my LinkedIn profile page if you want to connect on LinkedIn. Next slide, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll be your Agile trainer. I don't know if any of you here, if you're familiar with the term Agile. So I'll be training you through everything Agile, the frameworks within Agile, the what is Agile, you might say. As you can see on the screen, Agile is a mindset that most companies have, embraced to help them scale their products, reach out to customers quicker, and be able to compete in the market. So I wouldn't want to go too much into this, but this is something we'll be covering as part of your training. It's a mindset, but then it's something that you need to understand. How do you implement it? Okay, and this is the things we'll be talking about as part of your training. Next slide, Mark. 1 second. So again, what is the Agile Manifesto? The Agile Manifesto is simply a document that Agile was built upon. It contains 4 values and 12 principles. We'll be looking at these 4 values. As you can see on your screen, it says the individuals and interactions over tools and processes. working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. Now, what does these things mean? These are things we'll be going through as part of the training. We'll be looking at the theoretical side of things and also the practical side of things. How do you implement Agile within a business? Next slide, Mark. And also, we'll be looking at Agile transformation. So again, if you're not familiar with these terms, don't stress yourself, because like I said, we don't have the time to really do a deep dive into what this is. But just to give you a bit of surface information, what is Agile transformation? Agile transformation is basically when you help a business transition from their current ways of working to a more agile way of working. Again, these are things we'll be talking about. We'll be looking at the practicality of the transformation. How do you implement this transformation? How do you help teams and businesses transition from their previous ways of working, which might be waterfall, to Agile? Okay, next slide, Mark. And as part of our training, we'll be looking at the various frameworks within Agile. You can see on your screen, it says Scrum. Again, this is a term you might not be familiar with, but again, if you sign up with our training, at the end of this training, you would understand what Agile is. You would understand all the frameworks within Agile, including Scrum, which you see on your screen. You understand the artifacts, you understand the reporting, you understand the events, the ceremonies, and how to facilitate these events as part of the training. So if I start telling you what is Scrum and this, we won't have the time to cover this. But like I said, as part of our training, by the time we are done with this training, you will be, an expert Agile practitioner. Okay, next slide, Mark. And this basically tells us about the pillars of Scrum, which is transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Again, this is something that might sound alien to you if you don't know what this is talking about. But like I said earlier, as part of our training, we'll be looking at what is transparency. Why do teams need to be transparent in terms of the way they work? What is inspection? Why do you need to constantly inspect your work? What is adaptation? Why do we need to quickly adapt? With the dynamic customer needs now, the way things are changing rapidly with AI. Why do we always need to adapt? And what is empiricism? Okay, so these are things we'll be looking at, looking at the practicality. How do you implement this? What does this really mean within a work environment? Next slide, Mark. And also looking at the Scrum values of respect, openness, focus, commitment, and courage. Again, what does this mean from a practical point of view? It's okay to see it on your screen, but then what does it really mean in terms of helping businesses become more agile? Being a Scrum Master, being an Agile coach, how do you implement or how do you help teams to increase their respect, increase their openness, their focus, commitment, and courage? What do you need to do to be able to influence them to be more, productive, be more agile, improve their ways of working? These are things we'll be learning how to do as part of the training. Next slide, Mark. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I'll be looking at the Scrum events. As you can see on your screen, it says the sprint retro. What is a sprint retro? How do you facilitate a sprint retro? What happens in the sprint retro? What is sprint planning? What is a product backlog? What is a sprint backlog? What is a daily Scrum? What is the definition of done? What is a sprint review? Who are those three people you see in the circle in the middle? The Scrum Master, the development team, and the PO. What are their roles and responsibilities? These are things we'll be doing a deep dive as part of the training. Next slide, Mark. And also, we'll be looking at Agile tooling. We'll be looking at Jira and Confluence. By the end of the training, you'll be an expert user of Jira. You will know how to create Jira projects, how to write complex JQL queries, how to, write reports on, raise reports in Confluence that are integrated with Jira. You would be an expert Jira and Confluence user. Again, this would also increase your marketability in terms of, when you're looking for work, being able to use Jira as an expert, being able to use Confluence as an expert. That would help you stand out in the job market. Next slide. So what you'll be learning, we'll be learning facilitation techniques and Agile coaching. As an Agile coach, you need to be able to facilitate workshops, facilitate, sprint planning meetings, facilitate sprint retro meetings, facilitate PI planning. So you will learn how to facilitate these events. You also learn what does it take to be an Agile coach? How do I coach teams to be more, self-organizing? How do I help businesses be more productive? How do I help them improve their ways of working? These are things we'll be learning. We'll also do a deep dive into the Scrum framework. At the end of this session or the training, you will be a Scrum Master. You'll be an expert Agile practitioner. You'll be able to start applying for roles, Scrum Master roles, Agile delivery roles, because you would have all the knowledge and tools to be able to function in those roles. We'll also look at Jira, like I mentioned earlier. We'll create Jira projects, we'll create dashboards, we'll write complex JQL queries, which will also help you stand out in the job market. We'll also look at Agile metrics for continuous improvement. What are Agile metrics like the burn down chart, the burn up chart, the control chart? What does those things really mean? What is throughput? We will look at this and we'll look at it from a practical point of view, not just the theory. Okay. We'll also look at advanced roadmap and release planning. What is advanced roadmap? What is a plan in Jira? How do you plan releases? So, like I mentioned again earlier, these are the things we'll be looking into as part of the training. And as at the end of the training, you'll be able to start applying for Scrum Master roles, Agile coach roles, Agile delivery lead roles. Next slide, Mark. I think this is the last one. Any questions? Right, if there's no questions, I would pass you to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. Next is Temi. Temi, over to you.
Thank you very much, everyone. My apologies, I've got cold. Good evening, everyone. My name is Temi Tokmesha today, and I've been a business analyst, product owner, product manager space for over 12 years, going 13 years. I've worked with various industries from localization, higher education, energy sector, now in investment sector, so the finance sector. Next slide, please. So if you join, I'm going to be taking you on what is business analysis. So the role of a business analysis, basically, we are the people that bridge the gap between the business and the IT. So if you look at the business, these are the people that does the day-to-day activities like the finance, like yourself, the customer service, HR, the operational people. So if you look at those people, they don't quite understand the IT terminology stuff. So what we do is we get your requirements, we give it to the IT, and we help you guys to communicate your requirements in a form that the technical guys will be able to understand. So if you join, we're going to be looking at, next slide, please. So we're going to be looking at the role of a business analyst. What's the role of a business analyst? We uncover the needs, we uncover the problems that you guys are facing, we identify the need for a change. So we are the champions of change, really. So we collaborate and we elicit requirements. We get a requirement from you guys or maybe the government. So if you look at the government, sometimes the government might ask an organization to make changes to their ways of working, or they find them because they find something that is not working properly. So we are the one that goes to the government and get their requirements and make sure the organization comply with their requirements. So we work with different departments. So that is what we call collaboration. We work with either legal, finance, compliance, and a whole lot of that stuff. So we just make sure that the change is implemented. So we also communicate the requirements as well. The communication of the requirements is we write the requirements in a format that everyone will be able to understand. So if you give somebody on the streets the requirement, they're able to read and understand. So that is what we kind of do. And we use different technologies, different tools to do all of that stuff. So if you join, I'm going to be taking you on all those stuff, how to write requirements, how to communicate requirements, how you collaborate with people, how you can switch role between business analyst, strategy analyst, product owner, and stuff like that. Then we look at requirements modeling. Requirements modeling is whereby you, like I said, we have different tools. You model the requirements into different formats. We model it depending on the circumstances, depending on the situation. What you'll be doing for the government sector or the regulator is not the same thing you'll be doing for maybe internal stakeholders, maybe like your HR, your accounts. It will be different. The way you communicate it and the way you model it is going to be different. And then the requirement management, even as much as you've gathered a requirement, you just don't give it to the developers to go and work on. You make sure you manage it effectively from start to finish. You make sure it is developed, it's tested, no bug is in there, and he has meet the definition of done, all the acceptance criteria are met. Next slide, please. So the responsibilities of a BA, there's a bit of overlapping on what this is. Like I said, you identify the needs, you look at the opportunities. Sometimes you're not working with the IT, you're working with the business. So what you do is look at the need in the market. Okay, there's something going on at the moment. The government has changed the regulation in the UK to say, okay, they're changing the cash ISA to 12,000. That means a lot of money will not be, people are not going to be putting money in their account. They'll be looking for a way to invest it. So there's an opportunity in the market. How can we tap into the market and stuff like that? So that is what we do. We identify the need. Okay, how can we tap into the market right now? How can we attract more customers? Is it like we need to change the look and feel? Do we have to put something there so that people know and stuff like that? Sorry. And stuff like that. Thank you. Then we create detailed requirements. So, like I said, part of requirement modeling, you document the requirements so that people are able to understand it. Like I said, you collaborate with different stakeholders. It could be the director, it could be people with Mark. I work with a lot with Mark people within my organization that have Mark's role, Richard's role, Nike's role, Ola's role. So we all work together. So because we are all in it together to achieve a particular goal. And also we look at the feasibility as well. If it's not everything that people tell you they want to do that is visible. It's just like you and I, there's so many things we want to do in life, but we have to look at it. Is it cost effective? Are we able to do it, or are we not able to do it? Like if I tell you tomorrow I want to go to Vegas, or I want to go to Bahamas, I'm looking at, okay, you know what, my account, it doesn't make this one. So I need to look at that. And what is the benefit of me going to those places? It's just the same other projects as well. So we look at the feasibility studies, we look at the cost, we look at the benefits. Does the cost outweigh the benefit? If it does, then there's no point of doing it. Then also we look at the work, the processes within the organization, the one that is not effective. So you can actually recommend ways of working for the business. You can only recommend, but you cannot implement. So all of that stuff we look at, we communicate, like I said, between the IT and the business. And we monitor the progress of the project as well. Even though you're not a project manager, you've gathered a requirement from the business. I can guarantee you these people will come for you before they come for the project manager. So you work hand in hand with the project manager. You have a good collaboration with them to make sure the project is moving in the right direction. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
And I think that's yours.
Yes, okay. Any questions so far? And one more thing that I want to drop. So you see all these roles, all this stuff that we do that got different roles and responsibilities. There are some organizations like the government sector, they have roles for each on its own. Like they have the business case analyst, they have the process improvement analyst, they have like requirement gathering analyst and a whole lot of that stuff. So if you come for our class, you'll be able to position yourself into those roles because everything we cover, everything we're going to cover, we'll make sure we'll prepare you for the market to apply for those roles, just not business analyst as a title. Sometimes the title differs, right? But the roles and responsibilities what you look at. And we organize sessions as well for like interview preparation, CV preparation, and mentorship and stuff like that. So if you subscribe for our course today, you'll be taking you through all of that stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tell me, please go look after yourself.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you. EC is not around. I'm going to move on to our slide. We need some attitude to get and keep a job, okay? And the essential skills to succeed in the tech industry. That means stakeholder management. 90% of your job is people's management. You're going to be working with different characters, and you need to be able to manage, work with them. Communication as well is also a skill. You need to communicate what you're doing. You need to be very proactive. You need to be very diligent, and also vigilant and checking your work before you send it to your stakeholders. There's nothing more terrible than for them to correct your work when you could have noticed the mistakes before sending it. And then you need to be very hardworking in the industry. So in terms of jobs, these are new printed jobs. So you can apply for project manager like Nike and earning 62K per year based on experience. You can apply for project planner. I'll be training you on that, and that'll be about 550 pounds per day inside IR35, and then you learn how to use all those softwares to work with that team. Scrum Master, you can earn as much as 690 pounds per day, and that's under Richard's class as well, and he will train you on as a Scrum Master. Jira Administrator, still under Richard's section, you can earn as much as 60K per year based on experience. And this is a new job that was just posted recently. Entry-level jobs like project supports, you can earn as much as 225 pounds per day as an entry-level jobs. PMO analysts, another entry-level jobs, that's 28 pounds per hour. And that's under Toe and then Nikkei, they will train you on this. Business analyst on the TAMI, you can earn as much as 500 pounds per day based on experience. Still under business analyst as well, you can earn as 500 pounds per day. And then you can get those jobs if you train with us. Product owner, you can earn as much as 85K a year based on experience. And then the candidate roadmap. So do you want to take this? Okay, Tony's not here. So week 1, we are always going to start with project planning, and that will be Mondays and Fridays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays you might have another class. So it could be Agile and Scrum or project PMO classes or BA, and that will continue up to week 8, where you will talk about CVs, workshop, and mentorship in there. Okay. We have lots of success stories in our alumni. Some of them you can find them on LinkedIn. And then we have testimonial. I think Jerry is here. Jerry?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah, over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jerry. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, the rest of the team, for giving me the opportunity to share my experience and my story with the house. Just like everybody in the house, I was once in a place like this where I was not really clear on how to go. Talking about having relocated to a new place and trying to begin to use my experience and my background, or the things that align more with me in the country that I just relocated to. So it was a challenge. So I just have to get a job that I could get at that point in time, just to get myself going, even though I didn't like the job. I just kept going until I came across somebody that recommended Mac MI Consulting Service to me, and I liked the idea and I joined. So I got in touch with Mark. He gave me an overview of what is expected, just like as you are in a taster session like this. But one important thing about it was the person that recommended me was a pastor in the place where I was worship, where I fellowship even till today, and he said he has known Mark for a long time, that it would be good for me to get involved. And I came on board, started the class, went through the various section of the training, the project planning led by Mark, the Agile Scrum led by Richard, who has just also spoken about Agile Scrum this evening. And I remember when he was talking about how to be an Agile coach, how to influence people, like coaching people. All of those things is what I'm beginning to put into practice today in my day-to-day job. Same thing to Timmy that just talked about BA. You know, she talked about requirement gathering, input gathering. These are some necessary things that I'm having to deal with today. And also remember when she gave an example about how to influence without authority, or how to influence without using force. And she gave an example of having a very, I mean, and maybe she might have forgotten that, but I remember a story she gave on how she encountered a very difficult and challenging stakeholders, because you're going to be coming across these people when you eventually land any of these jobs. You're going to be dealing with people with different personalities, some strong personalities. And if you don't get their input, you don't get the requirement, you'll be unable to progress your project, you'll be unable to progress your program. So I went through all of these classes, and after going through these classes, went through the CV prep section that Mark also spent time to lead us through. Then I started applying for jobs. You know, sometimes you may be having some of the basic things that is required, but you may not know that this experience that you've got, like for me, I was into building, managing, building, like coordinating, building projects, building for people entrust me with money. I build houses, I get lands for them and all. These are all of these various ways of executing projects, which I did not really know how to align or to standardize to what is applicable here in the UK until I came across MI Consulting, which they will also be able to help you, and trying to bring some of those your skills, bring them to light, and trying to see how to make them to be marketable in the job marketplace. I did all of those things. I worked really hard. I won't say it's easy, but as I was going through MI consulting classes, I was also going through other programs just to ensure I'm grounded, and to also be able to deal with this imposter syndrome or lack of confidence. But I just kept applying for jobs, first jobs. It wasn't successful, just kept on applying for jobs. Before I continue, if there's anything you would like, I would like anybody to take out of this meeting today is try and get involved, sign up for the MI consulting, show high level of dedication, try to outwork your colleagues, put in that effort. It's not too early for you to start applying for jobs. In fact, the more jobs you apply for, the more interviews you are being shortlisted for, the more feedback you are able to get, the more you begin to see a pattern on what is required from the job marketplace. So I kept on doing that. I remember my very first interview, it was very bad. I came to Mark. Mark was like, okay, let's work on this. Let's work on that. Give me a formula, give me a strategy. And I was able to land my first role. It was like a dream. And it wasn't. It's not just like a role. It is a managerial role, a senior role, sort of, for somebody that has just located to a new country, landing his first role, a managerial role. You know, it requires a lot to actually succeed in a role like that. So that's where my consulting comes in. Like Mark rightly said, it's not all about getting the job. It's all about getting the job and keeping that job. Which till tomorrow, Mark still call me to ask me how am I doing, giving me tips on how to keep managing my stakeholders. I tell you, some stakeholders are weak for like the job I'm having at the moment now, where I've been opportune to work in a healthcare environment where we are leading one of the biggest healthcare service reconfiguration program in the whole of the UK. Within my work streams, I've got different programs that I'm opportune to lead. So coming from relocated to a new country and not having that kind of a kind of a UK kind of experience and being able to land a managerial role, it takes a lot to thrive, to survive in that role. And from the feedback that I've been getting, like some of the templates, SDF, the frameworks that I've been creating, people keep asking, who is the person doing this? Who is the person creating some of all of these documents? And sometimes the feedback that keeps, like even yesterday when we're having a move planning meetings yesterday, I also met with one of the managers from across other specialties saying like yourself and these other persons, you guys are doing a fantastic job. We are making plans on how we can retain this, we can do that, we can do that. So for me to be able to not to survive, but to keep thriving, it requires that I'm learning from the best. I've learned from the best, and not just haven't learned from the best. I'm learning and sustaining the learning from the best team in the person of Mark, Richard, Temi, the rest of the team, the rest of the instructors. They are fantastic people. So I want to encourage as many of us that are here today listening like this. I was once in a position like this where I was confused. I didn't actually know what to go. If whether to go for project planning, if whether to go for agile coach or to go for PMO or to go for BA. But the beauty about this whole thing is that you will be getting all of these various training in one package. What you'll be paying for, it will be covering all of these things. So that will give you the opportunity to learn all of these skills, acquire all of these skills. And when you get to your job, like for me, I do BA work, like a kind of a role that I'm opportune to work today. I do BA work, I do change management, I do project management, even the Scrum, like leadership, providing leadership, influencing people. All of these things is all incorporated. So I wonder how I would have been able to not just to survive, to be thriving in a role like this if I have not been opportune to have gone through a class like this. So I want to encourage as many of us that are maybe giving a second thought, trying to say, is this going to be the right program for me? For me, I will tell you, do not look back. And it is an opportunity for you to actually land a job that can actually pay you for what you are worth. The impact you make, the contribution you make, you actually being rewarded, and you doing what you actually like to do, not you being forced to do what you don't like to do just because of circumstance, but you actually doing what you like to do. So I want to say thank you, MI Consulting. Thank you, Richard. I know we may not have had the opportunity to have talked like this. I'm just the opportunity to say thank you, Temi. I remember when you did a BA class, Richard, and is it Tone? I think she's not here in the class today. So I just want to thank every one of you that has made this possible. And for those in the class today, I want to encourage you to sign up. I think they have different packages. Mark actually gave me an opportunity to split my payment. As of then, it was £500, and it gave me the opportunity to make the payment, two payments, 250, 250. So I don't know if the price now has increased, but that was what I paid as of then. That was 2024, January last year. So I haven't gone in program 6 months and landing my role 2 months thereafter. I think it is like a dream or an aspiration come true, and I want to encourage every one of us to sign up for it. Thank you, Mark, for having me. Thank you, MI Consulting team, for having me. Thank you.
Thank you
If you've
very
got any
much,
questions, just
Jerry.
let me know. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you. So if you're here and you're looking for like visa sponsorship, there are still companies that offer that, like Atkins, BAE, some NHS trusts, EDF, Acadis, National Highways, Transport for London, and some construction companies as well. They have the license and they give that to people. Um, Remote jobs as well. These are websites that offer remote jobs, and we can guide you through once you sign with us. Over to you, Richard. Richard, are you here?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Mark, and thanks, Jerry, for that wonderful testimonial. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are about to wrap up. So if you sign up with us today, these are the benefits you'll be getting. Firstly, you'll be getting the MS Project and Oracle P6 training. The Oracle P6 software will be given to you for free. That's a very expensive software, but you need it to be able to practice your planning skills, and we'll be giving you that for free. And Mark will be training you from a novice to an advanced level planner. You also get the free schedule analyzer for free as well. You get the I already mentioned the Oracle PC software. You get that for free, and also you have the benefit of having a live project simulation, because in interviews these days they don't ask you to define this or define that. They want to ask you situational questions. Tell me a time when you've done this. So we understand that people will struggle if they have only theoretical knowledge. That's why we try to give you as much practical knowledge as possible. You also have your PMO training with Tomu and TK. You have your BA training with Temi, and you have your Agile Scrum training with myself. And also, I will train you on how to use Jira. You saw that Jira admin role is paying decent money. So not only would you be able to get jobs as a Scrum Master or a delivery manager or an Agile coach, you will also be able to apply for Agile admin roles. Okay. We'll also give you mentorship. We'll have a CV workshop where we'll coach you on how to write your CVs, what fonts to use, how to, put things, because I see some CVs, they look very horrendous. So we'll coach you and teach you how to write winning CVs. We'll help you with your LinkedIn optimization so that you can start getting calls from recruiters. We'll also provide you with an interview prep. And finally, you will be a part of our massive WhatsApp community, which is the MI Consulting Alumni, where we share, knowledge, jobs are shared there, resources are shared there. So you'll be a part of that community. And also we provide certifications, such as if you want to certify in maybe Scrum, we'll provide a Scrum certification. We partner with a company based in America. You can get a Scrum certification. You can also get a Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification. If you want to also get a digital marketing certification, we can also facilitate that for you. So these are the benefits if you sign up with us. And this doesn't come at an extra cost. This is all covered in one payment. So you heard what Jerry said. Usually our cost is £500, and we've been charging that for a long time. That will be going up very soon. But for today, we've knocked out £50. So you'll be paying £450 for everything. This includes the planning training, the BA training, the Agile Scrum training, the PMO training. You will also get the PC software for free. You will get the free schedule analyzer for free. So there's no hidden fee. This $450 covers everything. And this discount lasts for only 24 hours. So if you sign up with us, we knock off £50, you pay $450, you get everything I just mentioned. Okay. And we also understand that some people might not have the entire money, but we also provide you with payment plans. If you want to pay in installments, you also let us know. We can see how we can support you with that. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or I don't know if Bolu, if you're able to unmute people. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can ask your questions. So the £50 discount is just for 24 hours. That expires by this time tomorrow evening. So again, if you haven't got the entire $450, we provide a flexible payment option, which you can pay in two installments. You can pay in 3 installments. Reach out to us, and we can see how we can support you. The account there for those in the UK, you can see the MI Consulting account, and for those overseas in Nigeria, you also see the Nigerian account. If you have any questions, please pop them in the chat, and we'll be happy to take your questions. Any final questions? And this is a good time to get trained because the year is running to an end. This is something you can do for yourself. You can make this plan today that next year, 2026, I want to land my dream role. And we're here to help you achieve that dream. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat, please. Because we'll be wrapping up in about 2-3 minutes. Any questions? Kainde, Fawaz, Mubarak, Ola, any questions before we call it a day?
So there's a question in the chat question. I don't know if it's been addressed. How important are professional project management certifications, that is the PMP, CIPM, to securing opportunities within the project management sphere?
I would say they are important, but at the same time, I don't think having the PMP and not having the necessary skills and experience, is one, like Mark mentioned, you can get a job or you can get an interview if someone sees you've got PMP, but how can you keep that role if you haven't got the necessary skills and experience to be able to function in that role? I would always put experience and knowledge over certifications. They are nice to have, but for me, I don't think they're a must-have. If you have the skills and experience, that trumps any certification. Like I said, it's not a bad thing to have, but what we offer you, which is training, the practical training, like Mark will always say, get your hands dirty. That trumps any certification. Okay. Right. Any other questions? If you want a payment plan, reach out to us. Leave your email address, leave your WhatsApp number. We'll get in touch. Leave your WhatsApp number in the chat and a member of our team will get in touch with you. Okay. Mark, have you got anything to add?
Just one of you is going to be one of our testimonials in the future if you sign up with us, and that you are in good hands, and we'll look after you and ensure that you're well cooked for your boss to delight in you. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Jerry, you had your hand up. Were you going to say something, Jerry?
Yes, I just wanted to, just in response to that question as regards certification, I just wanted to let the person know that going by my own lived experience, I've got no certification. I'm just working with Mark on how I can get one, but I was able to land a senior role. So I don't think that is not what they are looking for. What they're looking for is your ability to be able to deliver on the job, which is your experience. Just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Okay. Temi, Tone, Nike, have you guys got anything to add before we call it a day? No? Right. If there's nothing to add, I want to say a big thank you for everyone that's joined. It's a Saturday, getting to the end of the year. So I know people are busy and people are preparing for Christmas and the holidays. So thank you for joining today and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.